Morning, Sunday. You know, I love my analogies, I love my metaphors. Let's say you're standing in a room with a bunch of other people, and then someone secretly starts adding a blue mist to the air. Tiny blue particles or whatever, you know, those pyrotechnic things that people do at football matches, the blue smoke, whatever, yeah? There will be a point as they're adding the blue mist where it'll be imperceptible one moment, but then the next moment you'll blink and you'll say to the other guys, you'll be like, guys, is it me or is it a bit blue? The air's a bit blue. And they'll be like, yeah, it is a tiny bit blue. And then as more blue is added, you're like, yeah, I am definitely being blue misted. It's the same with morality. It's the same with good and evil in our society. You know, I think when I was a kid, like in my... I love the sound of a big-ass motorbike in the morning. It smells like napalm. No, when I was a kid in the 80s and 90s, there wasn't a noticeable aggressive attack to change morality in society. People accepted that humans are flawed. Everything you try and do to engineer society causes other effects, bad side effects. Which is why whenever they try and bring in communism, socialism, you end up with mass starvations, death camps, gulags, angry people. It all becomes about who you know. Some people are more equal than others. So yeah, nowadays, compared to when I was a kid, there is the absolute attempt to pull out the rug from Western morality and replace it with this homogeneous evil. I call it evil, and the reason why I call it evil, let me try and just define it very quickly. What is good? The good is that which either neutrally encourages or allows a good term, to express themselves, have babies, go forth, multiply, have children in peace, and live forever. Now, what evil is when messages are designed to cause fear, a withdrawal from society. It even manages to brainwash people against the primary and basic functions of life itself, which is to seek a mate, try and have a good time, and pay it forward. You know, your parents, thankfully, didn't abort you. They didn't, you know, when they were in their teens and 20s, they didn't go, there's a lot of plastic pollution in China. For that reason, I'm going to chop my dick off. No, they didn't. They had kids. Like, if you look at the animal kingdom, there's a big fat seagull flying past right now. Every animal on Earth, dogs, cats, tigers, seagulls, bacteria, viruses, they all know we're here. We've been given the gift of life. How selfish is it if you receive the gift of life from the universe, from your parents, from mommy and daddy, and you're like, well, I'm glad I'm here, but I am going to make a big metaphysical decision to stop life. I know there's an unbroken line since biogenesis on Earth 1 billion years ago. Thank you, parents, but for me, world's a bad place. Fuck the world. Not going to have kids. That's what it seems like. We're stood here. This is another, big joke here. There's this big expensive bridge behind me, over the River Irwell below us, leading up to the Twin Towers there with 101 in the corner. They've tried renting them out to corporations. They've been empty for 2 years. Swinton Insurance Group took that tower for about 6 months, but then they were like, cut. So, again, I believe, I didn't say this earlier, but I believe we live in a moral universe. There is a moral purpose. And if there isn't, clearly our minds create hierarchies from the basest evil to the most amazing good. And obviously that which we can conceive as the most amazing good would be a loving, caring God. And I don't think even atheists and scientists could disagree that a consciousness, a mind, the greatest conception of the good would be a universal, morally good creator. Of course. It's not that controversial. If I can create, if I can have babies and love my babies infinitely and be willing to die and sacrifice, do anything for my babies, the idea that there's a universal universe that would do the same for us, it's not that complicated. I see a lot of people who are asleep, like really in a trance, and when they interact with me or with each other, you see this automatic dominance, this like speaking to people like they're below you. And people do it automatically. They don't see me coming like, Charlie, here's this guy, he's turning up, and they don't rationalize it in their minds. It's the way some people would say, I don't know. It's hard to find in the animal kingdom. I mean, of course, you've got pecking orders and hierarchies, you know, and packs of wolves, even chickens. They study chickens. That's where the term pecking order came from. But we're not animals. I think that's all I've got to say for now. And it won't stop recording. I forgot to add one point in the back of my little talk there. I think what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to throw off the shackles of all my conditioning, and I'm trying to figure out what would be my personality and my interaction with the world. What flavor would it have had I not been so conditioned and brainwashed and pushed and forced into certain ideas? And my brain has obviously been built up by the culture, the family I grew up in, the language I use. When I dream, when I have thoughts, I'm using English. I never invented English as a language. I'm using other men and women's grammar. I'm trying to figure out what kind of philosopher king, let's elevate my ego here, but I'm not right, but who could I be if I was me? What kind of warrior, what kind of caveman, what kind of free man could I be if I wasn't conditioned from an early age? And again, this ties in with what I was saying, like most people walk around and their conditioning is so automatic that and you can, within the first 5 seconds, you can learn so much about a person with how they respond to whatever neutral, and make it neutral if you're trying to figure this kind of armchair psychology out. People are incredible. And I think a big part of the shock of my channel, my video channel here, is forcing people to wake up when they just automatically blah, 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 do as you're told, motherfucker. And you're like, what? Sorry? And then that's where the fun starts. So again, thank you for letting me add this last little bit.